Well, you've been primping. I've been setting up.
I was taking pictures.
Yeah, exactly. I was letting you do your little thing. It would make you feel good about yourself.
Well, only one of the pictures out of 700 made me feel good about myself. It's almost 40 for you.
I
know, I'm gonna sink.
It's gonna be one of those days when nothing's comfortable. I put a bra on and I already regret it. I'm like suffocating.
They look good right now. I would leave it on if you can suffer through. Well, I look like trash with a tan. You know those emergency eye things where you stick your eyes in a fountain of water? I need that for my nose right now.
And a fountain of water.
I wonder what would happen if you put eye drops in your nose.
Do you know that you can kill people with eye drops?
You can give them diarrhea. How can you kill them?
No, there's this one doctor that he poisoned his wife with eye drops every morning.
There's a perfume some woman bought at like a garage sale or a secondhand store, and it had poison in it from like World War II. Hold on. This is gonna be a problem. You check the camera.
Can you look at it while you're up?
Do you want to look at it?
It would be helpful if you could look at it and help me.
But then you're gonna be like, no! Ow! The dust mite's trying to crawl into my brain.
I think that you're thinking that, and now you're gonna feel like that. If I ever imagine there's a bug on me, then I feel bugs all over me. So right now, you're imagining there's a dust mite in your nose.
I feel it on my face. I really dislike what's happening in my nose right now.
Focus as much as you can.
I just need to hit my nostril or something. Oh, that was good. That was good. I needed that really bad.
Don't do it really hard.
I won't.
Ow! Why do you always punch?
I don't think I know how to slap.
You don't.
Have you ever been in a
Lay
fight
down.
before? Like with a
No.
girl? I wonder if we're a rarity.
Like with
that
a girl?
That we've never...
Like what? I love that. Signs of domestic violence.
I've never hit anybody. Have you? Like, have you
No.
like gotten so mad ever that you just like
No.
hit someone?
I think one time when Elliot was like roided out, you know, whenever the guy climbs the wall at the end of Split,
Ew, yeah.
it felt like that. I just remember he was like eating pizza, smiling at me, and his pupils were so big. He said something because he like wanted to get me like so mad. I'm pretty sure that I was like, you need to leave or something. And he just kept standing there eating pizza. And I think I went up and just like on him.
Really?
I'm like a hamster and he's like a fucking
statue
beast. And I think I might have like done some of these into his chest. Not like punching him, but like, why are you on drugs? You're fucking roided out. You look like your arms are gonna explode. You look psychotic. You look like the guy in Split. Literally. What a time.
I've never done that. We
You
have.
should have.
I know.
Well, first of all, welcome to We Weren't Crazy.
Welcome to We Weren't Crazy.
We're back.
We took a 2-week hiatus.
And we haven't seen each other literally
In 2 weeks.
not longer than that. It's like almost 3 weeks. We've been separated so long that we've started forgetting how to live life. We were just sending messages back and forth like, I don't remember what life is. All right. First official of 2026.
They really trick you into thinking it's going to be a good one, and then it's just like,
Oh,
that was like a nuclear
I
explosion.
literally thought there was gonna be a hole in the ceiling.
That blue
Wow.
wind, that blue wind in my hair.
Domaine Saint Michel Brute Rose. Holy fucking shit.
We gotta play that back in slow-mo. My hair literally was like...
What? Does it smell bad?
No.
What?
There you go. Can you tell it's been 2 weeks?
Well, this is an important cheers. The first official cheers of 2026.
That's so wild.
Here's to our year.
Yes, cheers.
Oh, it's so bubbly.
It is very bubbly. Do you hate it?
Really bubbly, and you know how I feel about carbonation. Fun fact, I don't like pop. Also, I say pop. And she said, what do you even say?
Soda.
It's getting weird.
I'm gonna go get a soda or Diet Coke.
Pop.
Do you say
Listen
buggy?
to this still fizzing.
Do you say
No, buggy is a southern thing. Pop is like a...
You say supper.
Okay, that's a redneck thing. Pop is a like Midwestern, Michigan, Northern I mean, from what I've gathered.
So if you're going to the soda machine, do you call it the pop machine?
Yeah, it's a pop machine. Duh. It's fucking weird. Soda machine.
Going to the pop machine.
But you know that like people in the South, they say like Coke for everything.
Yeah.
They're like, can I have a Coke? What kind of Coke?
Yeah.
Mountain Dew.
I have noticed that.
It's pop. I don't drink pop. I don't like it.
I have one a day. Like my multivitamin.
I hate carbonation. The only time I drink carbonation is alcohol. It's still fizzing.
Do you hate it? Oh, go get
Do
it.
you hate it?
I don't know. I can't tell. I mean, I don't hate it. I'll get used to it after I've had a few. It's called survival mode. Here, do you want me to do it mine first? Well, but then if you hate this, then we can't pour yours into mine. Pour some of yours into mine. I'll drink it. I'm fine drinking it.
And that is friendship. Dixie, it's time to film.
Genuinely wonder if I'm allergic to this sweater. Wouldn't that be ironic as an overstimulated, autistic individual that I would be allergic to the softest, coziest sweater?
See, it feels soft to me, but when I went, so you look like a rabbit. When I went to TJ Maxx with Allie in Wisconsin, it's just sweaters. That's it. They don't have any shirts. It's sweaters because it's cold up there.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to get some sweaters. Every single sweater had this like itchy.
Yeah. Even if they look soft.
She didn't think it was itchy because I had her feel it and she's like sensitive to stuff too.
Right.
But I'm allergic to wool. All I had to do was do this and I was like, ah, like it like made me have that much of a physical reaction to it. There's another type of material or like fuzzy. It's called like Angora. They used to use it a lot back in the day. Maybe. Or fake
I just
rabbit.
feel like they probably sprinkled it
and
with
that
like
was itchy to me.
anthrax. Remember anthrax?
What a
It's
time.
not funny.
What a time.
It's not funny, but like
They were just like mailing.
That was the least of our worries.
To go back in time when the worst thing we had to worry about was
Let's bring back
people
anthrax.
getting mailed anthrax. Bring back don't bring back. Only if we can stop World War III. We'll trade World War III for anthrax.
All right, hold on. How about this? Count down from 5.
Why?
Because that's gonna snap me out of my loop about my nostril.
Do you mean it's like silently or out loud?
No, out loud.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Clapper. Remember back in the day when I was like, I'm gonna get a clapper.
We still need to.
So we went to Juan's. Shout out Juan's again to have a little catch up time. We were supposed to prep for this episode, but we instead went down major rabbit holes, which was good. We needed to just like unpack all of the things. It's bubbling so loud.
I can't hear it. Remember last night when I thought that my fan was my heart ticking?
Yeah. She goes, oh my God, I'm so high. I forgot my fan ticks and I thought I was hearing my own heart ticking.
Because I dated a dude one time that had a fake heart and I would lay my head on his chest and you could hear it tick. Instead of heartbeats, it was ticking.
Did he have something plugged into him?
No.
Then it wasn't a fake heart. It was probably a defibrillator.
Well, whatever it was, it ticked. And that's what I was hearing last night. And I was like, am I going to have a heart attack?
She's become a robot. Surprise!
With gray hair.
New 2026.
Okay.
I'm so overstimulated by the sound of these bubbles. Like, stop. All I can hear. It's just
this is the funniest thing about all of this right now is that saying it out loud, it's funny. But this is what we literally deal with on a daily basis in our private lives.
I felt bad because so when I was at Allie's, her and her husband, they have like their routine.
Right.
And she's always on the couch and he's in his chair.
Oh, like an old man.
Yeah.
Really. Does he
Really.
wear like house slippers?
No, he's like,
does he wear
he's
plaid?
10 years younger than me. So he's 12 years younger than you. She married a younger man.
How old is she?
6 years younger than me. He's still a little baby child. She's used to her scrolling or her watching TV and him scrolling. But we were like trying to watch a documentary.
Taylor Swift.
No, I mean, then I would have had even less patience. But we were trying to watch a documentary. I think at this point, because I got very sick. I caught the plague. I was down and out for a good 4 days. It wasn't as bad as, like, when I had COVID.
Were you sick while you were there?
I didn't think that I was sick, but I think I was starting to get sick
Yeah.
because I thought I was just hungover, but, like, the only night it's still buzzing.
Oh, I
The
can't
the
hear
the
it.
only night that
Did you just blow on
I
it?
was trying to make it, like, not
You know what you do? Yeah, you read my mind.
what's the
This is pure class over here.
beer trick. Oops, hey, Felicia, circa 2013.
I taught you
You
that?
sweat Yes, this was in another episode. We've
Wow.
literally talked about it and
Sometimes
watched
I'm
it.
amazed by how smart
You
I
said
am.
you take the grease from your nose and you stick it in your beer because that was when we drank beer,
Yeah.
and it makes the fizz go away. And I was like, oh my God. And it worked, but this isn't working as well. Anyway, he was like watching TikTok while we were watching the TV. He's completely across the room. She can tune it out. I can't tune it out. So for like a solid first 30 minutes of the episode, I'm like, focus on the episode, read the captions, don't think about it, don't think about it. And I finally was like, Allie, I can't with all there's so much noise. And she's like very non-confrontational. She's like, baby, can you please turn it down a little bit? And I was like, okay, it's gonna be fine. So he turns it down and I can still hear it because like,
Yeah.
auditory
Well,
processing.
especially once you notice it, it's hard to like
Right.
not.
And so finally, because I was like tired, getting sick, I'm grumpy. I'm like, I can't. And she was like, all right. I'm sorry. And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm overstimulated. But like, I can't
No.
like I can't do
Multiple
all the
sounds.
sounds. I
No.
can't
Because your
do
brain has to pick one.
yeah. And especially, even if I wasn't like sick, hungover, tired, grumpy, even all the things, I wouldn't have been able. I
No.
can't process two sounds at once.
No.
Hence the bubbles,
No.
literally.
How about you stop focusing on the bubbles and I'll stop focusing on my dust
Oh, I did
mites?
want to tell you though, in our because I haven't even actually talk to you about going to Allie's. And then we'll transfer to our 2016 stuff. I had like the wildest epiphany one night when I was high. Also, I gave her half a weed gummy thinking like it wouldn't be that bad. And the first night she got so high, she was like on a different planet. She just like doesn't really like
Partake.
drink that much or
Good for her.
I
She's a
know.
Gen Z.
No, she's a millennial, but
She is?
she's like the youngest of the millennials.
Oh.
I mean, during COVID, we drank all the time on FaceTime. She like goes, I don't really drink wine anymore. I haven't really drank wine since COVID. And I was like, oh, good for you.
Me too.
The intention was I was going to film with Allie when I was there so I could like kind of tell her perspective and like our relationship because it's always been like really frustrating for both of us because the only thing we can say to people, like I will say my sister, but then if they ask questions and it's like, well, it's not like technically my sister, but like we grew up together. Then if you just say friend, that doesn't meet what we are. Like when she met, it's still fizzing. You get to call Courtney your sister because you're adopted and it's legal, right?
Right.
So it's like you can say that. And with me and Allie, that's how we've known each other since the day she was born. But we can't say it because it doesn't fit like the norms. We went to karaoke and everything's cheap in Wisconsin. So I was like, put it on my tab. Shots for everybody. Like,
We're moving to
me
Wisconsin.
and Kate got so drunk and Allie was being the DD. Kate is also a sister. But anyway, so I had this wild experience because up until high school, Allie and Kate were smaller than me and they were my little sisters and I took care of them. And then at some point they got taller than me and I was like the big sister, but I'm looking up to them. And so I've always like,
That's a weird, yeah.
like
That's
I,
how it is with Courtney. Because she's so much taller than me,
oh yeah,
even though she's my younger
and she is
sister.
younger than
Yeah.
you. I forgot about that. And I still sometimes even when I look at pictures, like the picture that we posted, I'll insert, I'm like, God, it's so weird. They're taller than me. So we were watching the Taylor Swift documentary, and one of the episodes
I knew it.
is about her grandma. Taylor has a song called Marjorie that she sang in every single stadium all around the world. And in that, Marjorie's voice plays because she was a
Oh, that
famous,
gives me
like a
chills.
semi-famous opera singer, but she never, ever, ever reached the level of Taylor, obviously. But I was watching it with Allie and I was just like weeping. And I realized that it was like the first time I've let myself grieve because I was in this safe
Safe, yep.
place, and we've always, like, laid the same way since she was a little kid. She lays one way and I, like, kind of lay on her butt, and
Oh.
we were laying that way. So, we got up, we went to the kitchen, I was like, "God, I just had a mental breakdown." She was like, "Oh my god, I'm sorry, I didn't know," because she was, like, falling asleep, and I was like, "No, no, no, it's not a bad thing." But I was looking up at her, and I was crying. I was like, I just I feel like I finally just, like, got to grieve,
Mhm.
and I just, like, saw her be like the I'm gonna cry, but, like, I saw her be this woman that I realized I had such a part in helping
Mhm.
her be who she is, and she just made such a safe space for me in that moment because she went from first being like, "Oh, I'm sorry," to, like, realizing what I was saying, and she was like, well, that's okay, and, like what you do for me, that moment was, like, so powerful because she's always been my little sister, but in that moment, she was mothering me,
Mhm.
and then throughout the weekend, I was just more observant of, like, how we mother each other, and it's the same
Mhm.
way that you and I do, but with Allie, I've always, like, put myself as I'm the big sister. I have to
Right.
take care of her. It's not her responsibility to take care of me. In that moment, she she was mothering me, and being this incredibly emotionally aware woman, and I was like, "I hope you be that because like, she
It's a very full
yeah,
circle.
it was just, like, a really powerful moment because I don't know if I'll ever have that moment with children.
Right.
She has looked up to me her entire life,
Mhm.
and if I was, like, a psychotic bitch, then she probably would kinda be too. So, I mean, is she like, super anxious and OCD
Yeah.
and and really empathetic, to a fault. Yeah, but I think we're just kind of cut from the same cloth in that way. Just watching her be able to, like, handle feelings like that,
Mhm.
and she she is emotionally aware, and she wants to, like, be better and heal, and that's because she, like, follows
Mhm.
what I
Have done for
do,
her.
and that's it was just I don't think that I've ever, like, let myself, like, really think about it like that
Mhm.
until that moment, I don't know, but it was special, and she's our number 1 fan. She comments on everything, unlike your sister who only told us that we didn't capitalize God.
She really is our number one fan.
I
Her and
know.
April and Dana.
I love that you were focusing on my story until the very moment you couldn't, like, you went to Christmas,
So I s
a late Christmas in Chattanooga. Do you
Sure.
guys do, like, alternating Christmas present, watch each other open them, or you do them, like, all at once, or,
It used to
like
be very structured, like, somebody would play Santa.
your whole life?
I mean, what since I was adopted.
Well, yeah. So you had a Santa?
I mean, we would call the person, "Do you wanna be Santa?" who would hand out the gifts.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, got it,
No, I
okay.
knew Santa wasn't real when I was, like, 5. My cousin ruined that for me. But it would be very
My
structured
mom
and,
ruined
like,
that for me on
let this
purpose.
person open their gift until the next person opens their gift,
Yeah,
you know?
that's how my grandma
Yeah. I literally, like, I do I sound weird?
no,
I feel like I sound stuffy.
but I can tell that you are thinking about it so much.
Well, because I'm actually physically stuffy now.
Okay, maybe you should get your boom boom stick. Sounds sexual in my life.
I love natural drugs. No, but it was good. It was all in all, it was good. I had been spiraling about it because I was overwhelmed and overstimulated by a new job and a new situation, and just everything was new, and I don't do well with new. And I think I told you this before I even went out there. I was like, I'm actually looking forward to it because it's going to be a
Ground,
grounding
yeah.
moment. Like, I'm going to be back in reality versus this
Yeah.
fucking
Well,
different
and
brain dimension I was living in.
I told you, like, you need to prepare even though we don't know how to prepare, but like that your nervous system is going to do everything it possibly can to make this impossible for you,
And it
because if
did.
it's not chaotic, you don't know what to do with it. It's not that all of the things you were
I
feeling
wonder if
weren't
we should just go ahead
valid.
and like dive into that now and then do the 2016 to 2026
See what our
after.
soul says.
Because even just you saying that, I'm like, yeah. It's up to you
I mean,
though.
we can do it's guess what? It's our show.
Oh yeah.
Guys, we haven't seen each other in 17 days, so
Also, guys, I have some very disappointing news.
me too.
But this
We'll
also
both
ties
confess.
into what we're talking
Wait, we'll
about.
both confess.
So we got to start from the very beginning.
Let's start at the very beginning. Dun dun dun. Slow zoom.
But it was either that.
Or she jumped off her building.
Exactly. So I'm still here.
And you know what? Listen,
Let's
this
start.
isn't just this isn't just what I just want you to I want you to know this isn't just you didn't just go back to vaping. I went back to the man.
Which you haven't even
Not
told me
fully.
everything.
You didn't tell me you started vaping for 7 days.
Did I not?
No.
I told you. No, yes, I did.
No, you did not.
I told you that Saturday.
And you
I
said
started
Monday,
which is when I started vaping, and I told you Saturday. That's
a week
Tuesday,
later.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's 5 days.
And I just told you today.
Here's the thing about us
But it's survival.
and that's I know
I
that.
needed to feel something.
That's why I'm not worried about it. I genuinely am not worried about you. So I started a new job, and I was so excited to start a new job where I had structure, where it would be calm, where I would be working in an environment that was professional. Retail hours are chaotic. So I had gotten to a point where I was working until 8:30 every night, so I wouldn't have to be there till noon. With ADHD,
Yeah.
we stay up at night regardless. And so I would sleep till like 9 or 10 and then go to work. And that was like my norm for however many years. And then I start this new job. I had to be there by 9:15, which in the scheme of things is not fucking early. But to me,
But you wanted to keep
I wanted to keep my
2.5
morning
hour routine.
my ritual of me time. And so I was waking up at 6:30, 6:45. The sun wasn't out. Every single sensory mode in my body was like, alert, alert, we're in danger. This isn't
Yeah.
okay. And then I get there, and we've talked about, remember autism when we're talking about that, how I always have to have water.
Yeah.
Like it was a structured environment where you can't have water with you at your counter, which I understand. But to me, I was like, I'm going to die. Like I literally was like,
your
I am
nervous
going
system.
to die.
It was like genuine. I knew you had to like work through all of it, but when you were voice memoing me as the week went on, and you would have like good moments and
I don't
bad
think I
moments.
had any good moments the first week.
There were a few times where you're like, today was a little bit better. It takes 2 weeks for your nervous system to adjust to something new. By the end of the week, Friday, you were like, today was better. I feel better. Once I get my sleep schedule, like whatever. And then Saturday, I thought you were dead. I knew that you should have been at work, checked your location, you weren't at work. I knew it was either you were going to feel all of this and decide to move through it, or you're going to feel all this and run from it. And you just needed the space to do that.
Yeah.
And you kept pushing through. And then by the end of this week, I really do feel like you've started to make the adjustment. From like my perspective, what was crazy to witness was your nervous system in real time trying to literally sabotage this from you. Every single thing that was so overstimulating and so it was making you literally crazy at the other place. So many different kinds of music, so many people coming up and talking to you, unnecessary
Constant
gossip, not knowing what your
overstimulation.
schedule was going to be. So much coming at you all the time. And then whenever you were telling me from a very, like, raw, vulnerable place, and there's only one kind of music that plays. They're just standing around, and but, like, the things that you were saying, I was like, "But this is everything
Mhm.
that you wished
Right.
for
And
when
that's
you didn't
why
have it," but it just is your it's your nervous system being like, "This isn't chaotic.
right.
Where are we gonna find chaos?"
Right.
Because that's the only way we know how to survive.
Not only that, but I got so frustrated with myself, and that's where the loop started. I should be so happy and so content right now,
Mhm.
but my nervous system is everything but. And it's a weird thing with OCD where you're aware that you should feel good in this moment, but you don't. Like,
Right.
that's where the mind fuck happens. You feel like you can't control your brain.
Yeah.
And I had gotten to a point with the chaotic environment that I had been in for so long. I knew what to expect.
Right.
Even though it was chaos and overstimulating, I could
It's
still
it's the chaos
control.
you know.
Yeah, I could still control my
The same
emotions.
reason why we stay in abusive
Right.
relationships, the same reason why we make choices that we make that have caused a continuous kind of chaos in our lives. That's like our last piece to hold on to because that's all we've ever known.
Right.
Like as soon as you have a relationship that's not chaotic, a job that's not chaotic, a schedule that's not chaotic, it's like, well, it can't possibly
But
be.
I also never ever I never felt that way before. Even whenever Dakota and I were dating, he was a good guy. He wasn't chaotic.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel the way that I feel now. You know what I'm saying?
But you did say something that was really powerful. Made a mental note to revisit because I was like, this isn't the time to dive into a really like have a moment with you because I knew you're processing. But I think you were like either getting ready or driving to work or something. It was one of your first few days. And you said, this is so much harder because I know what I'm feeling and I'm aware of it.
Mhm.
And before, I was so good at adapting to everything because I was in survival mode.
Mhm.
I just turned it on and did whatever I
Yep.
needed to do. And now I'm so aware of I don't want to perform. I don't want to play the game.
And it's not even
Like,
that I don't want to. I physically and mentally can't anymore.
right.
I've gotten to that point where I don't have a choice. My brain won't allow me to go back to old survival
Yeah.
mechanisms. And it's
Breakthrough.
literally
But
though, why can't I just like be okay? Why can't I just perform? Why can't I just put on a happy face?
and that was leading you to, like, spiral, spiral, spiral,
Mhm.
spiral further of and, like, the, like, shame spiral on top of
Yeah.
frustration at yourself of, like, "Just do it. If I could just fucking shut my brain off,"
Yep.
but you can't. That's, like, probably the most challenging part of healing, I think. Being fully aware of your feelings and knowing why you're feeling the way that you're feeling, but not having any control over it.
Literally. Yeah.
And before we could just do whatever we needed to do. Okay, you want me to sling 17 pairs of jeans over a door and upsell them with 27,000 pieces of arm candy and like whatever the
Right.
fuck?
And mesh with a million new people that you've never met before. Like, I've always considered myself an extrovert. And the older I get, I'm like, wait, am I really though? Or was that just my survival mechanism? And I feel like those things can change and they should change over time. I've always known that I had some form of like hyperfixation. That's what you and I would call it.
Right.
Hyperfixating on this, hyperfixating on that. And it was never a negative thing. But the first week of that job, I was hyper fixating on things where my brain literally, the best way I can just describe this is I genuinely understand why drug addicts are drug addicts, why they're
Yeah.
seeking out the next fix. When you're in this brain loop of whatever you're thinking about makes you feel good in the moment, but it doesn't make you feel good enough to close the loop. So you keep replaying that over
And
and
it
over
won't
again, hoping
stop.
that it will hit whatever you need to be hit inside of you.
Yeah.
And that's obviously why people probably do drugs is like they're chasing the next
Yeah.
high.
What was because we haven't talked about this. What was the moment that you were like, I'm going to go get a vape? What did that like feel like in that moment?
I think so. Monday after work,
That was the first day
uh-huh.
of work.
Yep. Keep in mind I hadn't slept all weekend, remember? I was up all night every night the weekend that I had off before I started. And then I went to work. I was tapped out, and it almost was like I felt so out of body,
Yeah.
and I felt so just like not imposter syndrome, like, that doesn't even scratch the surface. It literally felt like I was not a human being, and I wanted to
Meat
feel
suit.
well, I wanted to feel something because remember when I was talking about cutting? Whenever I started breaking hairbrushes and, like,
Oh
things
gosh.
where I have to physically feel something
Yeah.
whenever I quit vaping, and it worried me. It didn't worry me thinking that I would go back to cutting, but it worried me in a sense of, like, I feel so out of my body right now that I need something to ground me again.
Yeah.
If I can just feel something that I can expect, feel something that I know is familiar. I don't know, it just
And I think too, like the immediate rush of it
mhm.
where like, and I don't know, cause I've never had like a vape kind of thing.
Right.
But how you've explained it to me is that it's like the immediate rush and
At the
how
beginning, and then that goes away.
right. But then that's kind of how like that's how I feel about the situation.
Right.
Like he's kind of my vape.
Right.
Like I felt so literally like floating outside of my body
Mhm.
for no particular reason, just like the life, the world,
Mm.
everything. That immediate feeling, that's the only way that I can relate it to
Mhm.
like you going to get a vape
Right.
because it's the same kind of like dopamine like
Yep.
rush to the system where nothing else can make me feel like that right now. Nothing
Right.
else can make you feel like that right now. We're like grasping for survival
Literally.
at that point.
And that's why, like, the first few days afterwards, whenever I texted you on Saturday about it, I felt guilty. But then whenever I was voice memoing you, what was it, yesterday or the day before? I was like, I genuinely don't feel shame about it anymore.
Yeah.
I feel compassion because that was the only way I knew to come back to fucking earth. Hyperfixating to me doesn't seem like a negative thing. I hyperfixate on meals, I hyperfixate on routine, I hyperfixate on songs. But when I was hyperfixating that first week, I literally felt like I was going insane. That was the first time in my entire life that I literally felt like I was losing my mind because it's like what used to help me, the hyperfixations used
Mhm.
to help me, they weren't helping me.
But what's really interesting about you saying that, that wasn't the first time that I had like felt I could feel what energy that you were in.
Right.
And I couldn't tell you I don't know what the last time was, but I knew like we've been here before. She's felt like this before.
Right.
We've gotten out of this before. She's going to work through it. There's been probably 3 or 4 in the history of our friendship where you get into that like bad place of
Right.
the loops, and it's normally associated with some sort of like big life change. I think this time was different because you're more
Aware of it.
aware, but I do feel like you were almost trying to like push your awareness away
Mhm.
at points.
Mhm.
Like I think when you got deep enough into the spiral, like when I heard you on Saturday, I could tell that you had separated from the healing part of yourself because you were so deep in the I don't think I made the right decision.
Mhm.
You would like almost convince yourself of that at that point. I knew I just needed to like let you navigate that however you were going to navigate it because
Right.
it was going from like I'm so aware and this is so awful and I missed when I wasn't aware. I wish I
Mhm.
could just adapt like I used to or whatever to
But
like
then being aware of the fact that I was aware, like,
yeah,
that's
and so your
a loop
brain's
in and of itself.
survival mode, I feel like you separated
Yeah.
from it because you were so exhausted. It was just a nonstop loop of like everything wrong that actually wasn't
It wasn't
really
wrong.
wrong.
No, yeah. And
Totally
that's
fair things are early morning. Totally fair
but
things
that's
are new
nothing wrong.
environment. Ultimately, nothing was bad or wrong. But you
Exactly.
had
My nervous
worked
system
yourself
said
up and your nervous system was telling you that. Then you worked yourself out of it and you got up and you went to work
Mm-hmm.
and you got
Well,
through the
and part of
week.
the reason why was because I was researching what OCD truly is. And that gave me some grace for myself. We always think about OCD as like scrubbing your hands, you're afraid of germs, you touch the doorknob however many times, but OCD is can show up in so many
So
different
many other
ways.
ways.
And even as a kid, like whenever all of this was happening last week, I was thinking about how as a kid, I remember even after I was adopted, my mom would say, "We locked all the doors." And I'd be like, "Are you sure?" She'd be like,
Oh yeah,
"Yeah."
I remember you telling me that.
And I would get up multiple times in the night to make sure that the doors were locked. Like I couldn't close that loop in my brain. And I would do it multiple times. Like I would go
Because
check
you
it, it's
hadn't ever
locked.
been safe.
Right. I can see it's locked. I'd go back to sleep and then I had to get up again to make sure it's locked. Like
Yeah.
it's just giving myself grace in the fact that like OCD is like something very real. And the loops that you get stuck in, it doesn't make you crazy. Like it
Yeah.
literally, like it's your nervous system trying to catch up. And I think that was the biggest part for me and why I was able to get through it was because I was like, okay, like there's nothing
You were able
wrong
to
with
name
me.
it.
Yeah. And then to read like the psychology behind it was really big too, especially somebody with ADHD and
Yeah.
OCD. So
And
80,
trauma.
right. So ADHD, if I'm understimulated, then I go a little crazy. But if I'm overstimulated, then I go a little
Crazy.
crazy.
Right.
Like there's a fine line between the two. And unless I'm in an environment that caters to that, it's fucking World War III, sensitive subject. But I want to find.
If you give me your phone. Me. Got a window seat. I said, you'd think I was going to the tropics. My nervous system is like airport, vacation, Mark, wine, gross pretzels. Yes.
Meanwhile, I'm like,
She's having a mental breakdown.
but that's what's so perfect about our
I
friendship.
know. And then she's stalking me. I'm already over India. She goes, "Whoa, planes are fast."
And I'm really glad that we're talking about this because I feel like a lot of people experience this and don't know what's actually happening in their brains. And another thing too is when I was talking it through, I was like, why does it seem like all of this is getting so much worse the older I get? But it's not getting worse the older I get. I'm just more self aware. Before, I was doing all the same OCD tendencies. I was stealing socks. I was not from the store, but I was doing all of these things, but I wasn't aware of why I was doing them. It just was a quirk or a survival mechanism.
Oh, here. So okay, this was the first one, but I had a lot of the important things. The loops didn't change. The context did. The context determines whether a coping strategy feels soothing or threatening. The loops were always there. During the last 6 months when you felt empowered, confident, and grounded, you were still twisting, picking, replaying songs, rewatching videos, hyperfixating. But they didn't register as a problem. Why? Because they were functioning as successful regulation inside a system that already felt structured and predictable. When a coping strategy works, we don't label it pathology. We label it enjoyment, focus, flow, or creativity. That doesn't mean it wasn't OCD adjacent. It just means it wasn't costing you anything at the time.
Mhm.
Familiar chaos can feel safer than unfamiliar calm. And
Mhm.
that somebody said something similar to that because I was still like in communication with my mom and I cannot remember her name. I don't remember exactly what she said, but it was something like that. And it was like a moment that clicked in my head that was like, oh my God, you're right. Because
Mhm.
she was basically saying, like, you're going to live your life like this
Mhm.
because it's what your nervous system knows.
Yep.
And you have to make the choice to like be uncomfortable outside of the chaos, which is literally what you're doing right
Well, and it
now.
goes back to that saying, and I even said this whenever I decided to say it. Better to know the enemy that you know.
Or
It's
like the beast that you know versus the beast that you
that you
don't,
don't.
kind of, yeah.
But it's also, but that saying also is like probably not very accurate. You know what I mean? Like, but that was how I was living my life
Yeah.
for so long.
But it was predictable chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Your nervous system knew what the lights would feel like, how loud it would be, what kind of stress to expect, how long the day would last. So even though it wasn't comfortable, it was known, and the nervous system prioritizes known over comfortable every time. So your loops were operating inside a container. Stimulation during the day, structure around time, external demands that pulled you out of your head. Inside that container, the loops felt pleasurable, felt optional, felt like my brain being tickled, didn't dominate your identity or your nights. They were absorbed by the system, not spotlighted. Your brain went from too much input all day to not enough structure at all. Creates understimulation, which ADHD hates. And that's what you named perfectly earlier. If we're understimulated, we freak out. If we're overstimulated, we freak out. Your identity entered a liminal space. You are no longer the Dillard version of you, fully the new job version of you. The in between space is psychologically destabilizing, even when the change is positive. And that is huge too. That's exactly what I felt like whenever I started my job last year. Whenever I was having to like go into the
We started
office
new jobs
on the same day, 1 year apart. I mean, grant I was like bamboozled into a whole fucking lie, but I was like, I was not well. Like, that's why I knew where you were in this, because at the time when I was going through that, I knew that you like couldn't comprehend what I was going through, because I would tell you like, I can't do this. I can't go into an office. I can't be under these lights. I can't be around these people. Like I hadn't been in an office in 5 years, and I took the job under the impression that I'd be working from home. And I remember you saying, and you didn't know any different, but I remember you saying like, well, I do that every day. But you
Like
didn't.
I was like, you adapt because that's what we do. You know what I mean? Like that's what we did.
But I couldn't.
Right. Yep.
And that was the first time that I had felt in a real life circumstance awake in this fucking lie of life, that I used to literally get up, get ready, drive to an office, have to follow these rules that didn't make sense, have to put on a smile, have to socialize with people I didn't want to fucking socialize, literally waste 10 hours of my day. 12 hours of my day when you count in driving.
Right.
And that's what we did. That's what we had to do. And now that I knew that that's not what I had to do,
Right.
and I was doing it in a completely different mental state, completely different emotional state. But how you sounded that week was how I was till I got my work from home. Whoa. Oh, wow. Woo! Get it out. I thought that felt good. That's like, can we just put that on a website for like fetishes?
Yes, please. $1,000 a sneeze. My biggest takeaway from
This
literally
is called hyperfixation, what I'm experiencing right now.
literally last week was I remember I was saying I feel like there's an angel on one shoulder and a devil on another shoulder. There's part of my brain that is saying what is happening right now is good, and another part of my brain that was saying what is happening right now is
Bad.
terrible. Never in my life have I never been able to separate the two. So that's why my brain went into these loops. It was literally, I could feel both sides of my brain talking to each other, like fighting, and neither of them were winning.
Yeah, and you were like really aware
And
of
with
them.
people with OCD, we need conclusions. We need answers. We need
a way
finality.
to break the loop.
Yeah, we need something to break us out of it. We need an ending, essentially.
Yeah.
And there was no ending in my brain at all. And
Which is perfect that I just found my spot. And the next one was the loops lost their container.
yes.
Before, the loops were breaks, pleasures, micro regulators. Now, with no external structure, they became the main regulator, the only thing filling time, and the only predictable input. So your nervous system, instead of closing the loop, leaned into the loops because that's the only thing it knew how to do. And so it was just continuous all day, every day, the same thought. And you can't escape it when you're in it. You can't get out of it. It doesn't matter that you know in your head that it's the rational side. Oh, do pros and cons. It doesn't fucking matter. That's how it was for me. It didn't matter. I could tell myself like, I just got to go through the motions. I just have to adjust. I'm going to figure out a solution. It didn't matter. Every single day I came home, I felt like suicidal.
Yeah. Remember, I told you my body is physically rejecting
Yeah.
this right now.
Yeah.
Physically, in every single way it could. It was physically rejecting it. So we're filming the podcast right now, and we're talking about OCD and our experiences. And
Can you give us the emotional and psychological mic drops?
I love you, but you're touching me. This is a very good summary of what OCD is.
Come here, baby.
Oh, and there was a moment too where I was asking chat, I was like, because this is, and I'm grateful for this, but this is how self-aware I was becoming, was because one of the loops that I couldn't close, I was listening to NF and he was talking about OCD, and in the moment it felt so good. And so I just kept listening to it over and over and over again because I was like, I'm not alone in this. Like, other people feel these loops that you can't close. But then that just like added fuel to the fire of the loop.
Yeah.
OCD isn't about being scared that something bad will happen. It's about a nervous system that never gets the signal that says you're done, you're safe now. It's a brain that stays stuck in relief-seeking mode, so it repeats thoughts, sensations, foods, not for pleasure or control, but to feel settled, which explains why I've eaten a Quest bar for 13 years. I also haven't eaten a Quest. I didn't eat. I think I had one last week.
Oh.
I've noticed things about me that before, like the first thing I do when I get up out of bed is make my bed. I still do that. But
Yin and yang.
if I
Not me.
leave, my apartment has to be spotless when I leave because I know that when I get home, I know what to expect.
Yeah.
And this past week, there have been days where I might have like a shirt sitting on the bed or a hanger set out somewhere. Even my slippers, that's a big thing too. Like it almost feels like I'm in the fucking military in my brain where like my slippers have to be perfectly set somewhere. Otherwise, I don't feel comfortable leaving the house. Like it's I don't want to say it's a weird thing because it's not a weird thing. I know that
it's your coping mechanism.
yeah, I know that when I come home, I know what to expect. You know
But
what I
it's the
mean?
one thing that you've been able to identify that you could control because you weren't like that 10
Mm-mm.
years ago
No, I wasn't.
at all.
Mm-mm.
But as more time has gone on and things have happened that are outside of your control.
Fireworks or bombs?
Oh, trash cans.
Oh.
Bombs.
I thought we were going to have to give our final message and give our radio station that you
Hello
can
and
tune
goodbye
into.
for 2026. That's a wrap. Been great knowing that.
Trash can.
It's literally people taking their trash cans out. Those things are the only things that you identified that you can control. So you've
Mhm.
latched onto them so
Mhm.
aggressively.
And it's when I feel most alive, I guess is the best way to put it too. Like that's where I feel grounded. I went from an environment where I was constantly approached by strangers. That's why I created the morning ritual. I never had that before. I was constantly bombarded by strangers and energy that was unfamiliar to me, but I still had to.
For context, we were both in retail. We went to office jobs. She went back to retail. So this is after 4 years of
About that,
being
yeah.
completely removed from retail, going back to retail after COVID, when our nervous systems are already like really fucked up about people and engaging and what is safe and what is
Which to me
not.
though, my experience with COVID, and that'll be another episode,
Yeah.
was so fucked up. I craved those interactions. I craved any energy that wasn't.
But yet it made you feel so out of control that you had to ground yourself in ritual and OCD tendency. So I
Yeah.
don't think it was as
No, but
grounded as
that's
you
where the
thought.
loop, but that's the loop. I'm chasing something that I'm craving. I latched onto that and it fulfilled what I was craving, even though it was numbing what was actually the issue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's like a whole thing. I've noticed, so the first week, because I was rushed for time, it gave me anxiety leaving my house without it being perfect. And then I'd come home to that and then I'd spiral about that.
But
And
in
then I'd
reality, it was a shirt or a hanger or your slippers.
Yeah,
It
literally.
wasn't that
Something
it was
is
actually a mess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally something as simple as my slippers not being in their place.
Yeah.
I've noticed this past week, I still put my slippers in a spot, and it's not the same spot every time. It's out of sight, out of mind. Like I just know, whenever I come home, I know what to expect. But this past week, I've
I'm not
been
laughing at you. I'm laughing with you because we just have like very different ticks, but from the same like place.
right. Well, but what you said, you brought up a good point. I was never like this before.
Yeah.
And I think that was also part of the loop frustration of number one, why am I like this now? Which makes me feel a little shame. Number two, but this is the only way I know how to regulate.
Right.
So then that's a loop in and of
And
itself.
then
You get what I'm
and then it
saying?
almost
Like,
goes
it's
to
like,
like, but is this regulating or am I being at what point does this become non-regulating?
exactly.
And so
It
the,
becomes non-regulating
and then
when you
it's a
can't,
when
when you
then
can't,
it's another loop of
yeah,
like, but wait, is my thing that's regulating me actually non-regulating? And then so then you're in your regulating loop questioning if your regulating loop is actually non-regulating and if you're
right,
doing like
right.
I don't need like a ritual or anything like that, but there are certain things and I think it's different too because I have been my container, that's where the container thing really like hit
Mhm.
home for me because whenever I was bamboozled into a job thinking it was gonna be remote and for 3 weeks was having to go into the office. The container is my house. The
Mhm.
container, that's where I was safe.
Mhm.
I'm safe here. I can control everything. I know they're safe, I'm safe, we're safe, like, I can control that. Even though I could tell myself, "My house isn't gonna burn down, knock on wood. They're safe. I'm not I'm not going to, like, die by being in this office."
Right.
My nervous system was like, your eyeballs are burning out of your head from these lights. Everyone is touching you and
Yep.
giving you germs. You are so overstimulated. I never ever until I had Dixie out of my own. I got a like a doggy cam because I was so fucking paranoid because I just went through 2 dog deaths in a row and I became obsessive. When I leave the house, I literally have to go through because I've seen like TikToks of if fans are plugged in, if things are plugged in,
Mhm.
I have to go through the entire house
Yep.
and make sure every single thing is unplugged. And if I don't, I've gone to the point where I will get to the end of my road and I have to come back.
Mhm.
Because if I don't, I won't be able to not think about it.
Yep.
I will be literally losing my mind convincing myself and, like, even just saying it out loud, I get, like, so much anxiety even just saying things like, "My house is gonna burn down." Like, that, like, that makes me, like, literally almost have a panic attack because I don't
Mhm.
even wanna put it into the universe,
Right.
but it's, like, such a big fear, and I think
Mhm.
about it all the time. Wow, both sides.
I can't help it.
You're dying. If I pull out of my garage
I'm listening. I'm like, okay, it's gone.
if I pull out of my garage, I have to sit there until it hits the ground
Yep.
because when I've pulled away, if I can convince myself by the time I get to the end of my subdivision that my garage door opened back up, then I have to turn back around.
Yep.
I will even say I'm unplugging the curling iron.
Mhm.
I've unplugged the fan.
Yep.
The door is locked. But if I have one question
Yep.
when I'm in my car, I have to come back. I
Like you
can't
don't have a choice.
this is where being able to name it as OCD
Mhm.
has changed something for both of
Yep.
us because I always thought it was just anxiety.
Yeah.
But then I realized that's not
No.
anxiety. Like it causes anxiety. But what is the
Exactly.
cause of the anxiety? The cause is I have obsessive compulsive
Mhm.
disorder.
Yep.
They can manifest differently in different stages of our life. But if you look back at different stages of our life, it's always been there showing up in different ways.
Mhm.
And I think before a lot of where that might have manifested, like our eating disorders,
Mhm.
were our place of routine, control,
Right.
containment. We could control what we ate, we could control what we looked like, we could
Mhm.
control that. And now that like we've kind of like started our healing journey through that, although we still have issues with that are very real. That healing and awareness almost blown up every other part of our life that we're like, that's how we regulated ourselves before.
Yep.
I'm actually just breakthrough. I'm like realizing, because obviously we talked about that it was a control thing, but I think that was our regulator. That was the one thing that we knew we could control.
I think for you it was.
I mean, that was, you also said that was the one thing you could control.
I feel like though, and here's where, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, with, because I was never anorexic.
Felicia, we've talked about this. You
I had something to hyperfixate on, but I felt out of control. There was never a moment where I felt in control. That was the thing about bulimia, is I never felt in control.
you were, Felicia, I'm going to just push back on that a little bit, because you know that you found a notebook where you were writing down every single thing that you ate. You were working out. You were literally starving yourself without trying to starve yourself, but you were.
Yeah.
That was your regulator. That was your container. That's what we discovered
Yeah.
on the eating disorder episode. Like, the reason why we didn't have as many of these like other OCD thoughts then
Was because
was
we
because
were
we put them
so
in a
fixated on that,
container.
yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a name. You have to
No,
name
you're
it as
right.
anorexia or bulimia, but it was about what we can control, our bodies, how we looked, how skinny we were, what we
Right.
ate. If we ate too much, how are we going to punish ourselves? How many steps have we walked? How many calories have we eaten?
It's just wild. And here's where my brain goes with that, just like saying it out loud, is thinking back on it. And maybe this is just retrospectively thinking back on that. I remember feeling so out of control. You know what I mean? Like, even though that was my way of having control, looking back on it,
But
I
in a
felt
way,
like I had no control.
it's still kind of the same thing with the
Yeah.
things that we're experiencing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I can't control that when I leave the house, I have to turn around and come back,
Right.
but I have to do it.
Yep.
But with our eating disorders,
Right.
sometimes I would lose control. I knew that if I got out of control, then I needed to not eat. I needed to walk
Right.
10,000 steps. I needed to go to hot yoga. I needed to like weigh myself 3 times a
Yep.
day. But that was the container. And I never
Right.
thought about it that way. I think the container is just like kind of moved into other areas. It's not that that's totally left, because we still have, obviously, like
Body
our body
dysmorphia.
our body issues still show up in every other fucking way, but that's not the one container, you know.
So this is huge because
Cooks, you were reaching for cooks.
this helped me a lot. Here, I'm gonna get the other one.
Close the loop. Eat the sandwich.
We'll help other people close the loop too. Because this is the only reason why I was able to close the fucking loop.
And we're back. Eat our sandwiches and then evaluate if we want to film another episode or if we want to watch this one. The only thing that sucks though, like the 2016 trend that's happening right now, if we can't film for 2 more weeks, like that's going to be out of people's minds. Yeah, no, for sure. And one, I don't want to force a 2016 conversation. I'm just like,
No, I think it'd be good. So, to close this loop.
you got to get your mic.
To close this loop. Think about it. 10 years ago, I wouldn't have been like, why is my brain thinking the way it's thinking?
Right.
But that's where I was because I wanted to know why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. And when it comes to OCD, like it is a neurological
Right.
trigger that happens and it doesn't go away. And chat even said that it doesn't go away.
Yeah.
But there are ways that you can learn to regulate the nights where I was stuck in a loop. Don't force a stop, because when you force a stop, the loop gets even stronger.
Can I say something? That's like a throwback to the body dysmorphia episode. At the end, I said, I've just come to the realization that like I have a choice of like I either fight this or I learn to live with it. because it's never gonna go away,
Mhm.
and you said, "I can't accept that because it has to go away." And
Mhm.
so I tried to explain to you more of, like, it's just like anxiety, it's just like PTSD. It's not going to go away, but I can either learn how to live with it, and I can learn how to make it not work against me. I can learn how to regulate myself in it. I can learn how to understand the root of it, but it's not going to go away.
Right.
And I think this moment, you're up so high. I'm literally looking up at you right now. And I don't know if you're even gonna, that's a little bit better. But I think this moment, this realization that you're having,
Mhm.
um, just ties back to that kind of beautifully of that's how we have to learn how to accept all of these parts of our lives that we didn't
Mhm.
ask for.
Mhm.
Our trauma, our anxiety, our OCD, our PTSD,
Mhm.
our depression, all of these things ultimately are in our nervous system because of the lives that we have survived.
Mhm.
And it's not going to just go away,
No.
but we can either feel owned by it, we can feel controlled by it, or we can learn almost how to like work with it like a friend. I know you're trying to protect me,
Mhm.
but we don't need to go this far.
Yep.
Like, how do we find a balance here?
Yep.
Literally, like Inside Out, like these, like the movie, when like we have these little feelings in our brain. If I like think of it like that, it's easier for me to like understand it and not be so scared of it. Cause I
Yep.
think that once we can name it and
And it
not
doesn't consume you.
right. And
Yeah.
I think that's like a huge part. I mean, healing in general, but of realizing there's not something wrong with us because
Mhm.
we have these things that are just in our nervous system.
Right.
We have to learn how to live with them
Right. And to
and
regulate them and
yeah,
to listen to them without letting them control. And that's such a weird thing to say because when you think about your brain is in control of your body.
right,
So when your brain feels like it's torn in two different directions, which part of my brain is grounded in truth? It's
right,
grounded in reality. I mean, that's huge because we are wired to jump to the farthest
yeah,
conclusion. That's why what's happening in the world right now is like
right.
so
Overwhelming
unbelievably
to us,
overwhelming.
right? I've been in those moments where I've had to like force myself to just feel it all, and I that's what I witnessed you doing this week. Felt all consuming to you,
Mhm.
and I knew that, and but watching you choose to like literally feel your way through it. I am so aware of everything that I'm feeling, and I like literally feel like the only way that I can survive this is to die
Mhm.
or to just like what is going to get me through this
Or to go
second,
back to the
this
chaos.
minute,
Yep.
this moment, like it becomes like a minute by minute survival.
Mhm. It literally
And then
does.
it grows into okay, just one more day, just one and that's why you said like I have to give myself like if I still feel this way February 1st,
Yep.
even though you knew, okay, logically I know 2 weeks is probably when my nervous system is going to settle down, but you needed a stopping point, and that's what I
Mhm.
did too. I told myself the same thing. If I still feel like this very first, I don't know what I'm gonna do because I have no fucking money. I had no money, and I mean we're in the same boat right now. And I was like I don't know what I'm gonna do, but like if I still feel this way, I can't do this.
Mhm.
And everything worked out, and I was able to
See, and that even
adjust.
just us saying that to ourselves is us closing that loop.
Yeah,
Because for me, even with the water bottle situation,
yeah,
as soon as I said, tomorrow I'm going to leave my water in the back and see how I feel. If
yeah,
I need to bring it out, I will, but I'm choosing to leave it there. That was like closing the loop.
yeah.
Same with the end, like
Because
the
it
date.
wasn't you being told you can't have your
Exactly.
water, and that's where your mind says, "Abort, abort,
Yep.
abort."
And then with the end
My
date,
resources to survive are being taken.
right. Because with the end, like with the whole, I'm giving it till February 1st, and same with you. I never thought about that as closing the loop. But that really is what
Neither
it is.
breakthrough.
It literally,
Yeah.
it's saying, I'm giving it this much time. That is us self-regulating.
Yeah.
And I love us.
You can cheers me with your vape. And you know what? She quit vaping once and she can do it again.
When I feel like it. I'm not going to say I'm not ready because that's not like at this point in life, I'll never be ready, but I'll quit when I feel like it. Like,
Same
and
for me.
no, but I mean that genuine, like I genuinely mean that in the sense of like,
That's how I feel.
when
in
I
that
decide to close
situation.
this fucking loop,
I'm not ready to close the loop
when
yet.
I
The
close
loop
the
is
loop,
open.
it
The
will be
loop is open.
closed.
And it makes me feel something.
This is something that helped me during my extreme OCD loops where I was literally up 48 hours.
Again.
Every time that I was up, it was because I was stuck in a loop. OCD loops don't close through logic or willpower. They close when the nervous system feels safe enough to disengage. So the goal isn't to stop the thought or behavior, but to lower the urgency and importance until the brain lets go on its own. Yeah. That's why whenever the other night I was like, if I tell myself I'm going to bed early tonight,
That was a big thing that you said. And I was like, wait, I need to do that too.
yeah,
Because we spend so much time like literally going back and forth being like,
that's a loop.
shocking, I'm still up. I should be in bed. And you were like, you know what? I'm not going to tell myself what time I'm going to go to bed. I'm just going to
Because then you get
make
stuck in this loop of like, I
I
should be
should be in
asleep.
bed. And
Yep.
then we end up staying up 5 hours later, literally saying, well, if I go to bed now, I get this much sleep. If I go to bed now.
Exactly.
And it doesn't, and then you get stuck on like, I'm gonna be so tired tomorrow. I'm gonna like, it doesn't end. We could spend all of that
Tell us
time.
what it feels like to be normal,
We're
please.
not even relaxing. We're not even enjoying the moment. We're literally
you made
just
that good point.
avoiding sleep while thinking about how avoiding sleep is going to affect our day the next day.
And that keeps us avoiding sleep. One of the first things that helps is simply naming what's happening, saying, this is my nervous system looping, or nothing needs to be solved right now. Because naming it removes the sense of danger that fuels OCD. Instead of trying to finish the feeling or get it just right, whichever actually works.
What remix?
Insert voice. I literally, is this a stroke?
I saw your eyes do it. That's not the champagne, folks. She did that sober this morning.
Because naming it removes the sense of danger that fuels OCD. Instead of trying to finish the feeling or get it just right, which never actually works, healing comes from allowing things to feel unfinished and noticing that nothing bad happens when you do. That's huge. Allowing your nervous system,
hard to get there.
allowing things to feel unfinished.
It's literally like exposure therapy.
Yeah.
Like, you know how they used to show, of course, I related back to like eating disorder, but like how I remember seeing, probably Oprah. Hey, Oprah.
Shout out,
Can't wait to meet you this year. How they would show like binge eaters. One of the things they would do in therapy is like, they would like put donuts in front of them and like make them eat them.
Did you watch that documentary?
Probably.
Like about, what is it called? What is that show
That
called?
documentary.
About the fitness people.
Oh, about the reality
Biggest
show?
Loser.
No, I didn't watch all of it. I watched some of it, but
That was awful.
But basically, like it was a form of exposure therapy, showing yourself
that you're allowed
if
to.
If I feel this way, it doesn't mean that the worst case scenario is going to happen.
Yep. And you're allowed to feel. You're allowed to feel like things aren't finished. You're allowed to feel that.
And you're also allowed to want your slippers in a certain place.
Yeah.
And you're allowed to drive back home if you think you're
I will text you the day that I leave my slippers willy-nilly around my apartment.
I'll text you the day I leave my house and think
I
that
mean, I did leave a shirt.
Everything.
I left a shirt on my bed one day, and that was a big moment for me. And I left a dish in my sink, and that was a big moment for me.
I'm really proud of you.
Changing the container rather than the content also helps. Keeping something familiar, but altering how it's delivered. Like lowering the volume of a song, because I remember that was my biggest loop, was I would listen to the same song over and over again.
Same thing that you do with your stories.
And it wasn't telling me to stop listening to it. It was just like, lower the volume.
Yeah.
Lowering the volume of a song, switching to an instrumental version, or moving to a different room, because the brain stays regulated without staying stuck. Delaying an urge.
The brain stays regulated without staying stuck. That is a
Merch.
really merch.
Delaying an urge instead of denying it
Yep.
teaches flexibility, since refusal creates panic,
Mm-hmm.
but delay creates neutrality. And often the urge softens on its own, which is true.
Yeah.
Like the whole me time thing, the ritual that I had in the morning, now that I have time in the evening, I can delay it.
Yeah.
Like I know that I'm still going to have that same ritual, even if it doesn't look the same, I will have it. Physical anchors matter more than thinking your way out of a loop, because the body leads the brain back to safety. Things like temperature changes, pressure, slow movement, or grounding texture helps interrupt mental spirals without confrontation. Over time, the most powerful shift comes from reducing the meaning you attach to the loop, reminding yourself that discomfort isn't danger and nothing needs to be fixed. Because OCD survives on urgency and importance. When a loop is allowed to fade naturally, without forcing it, without shaming it, without overcorrecting it, the nervous system learns that it doesn't have to keep repeating the same pattern, and that's how flexibility and relief slowly take root. That's huge.
I mean,
wonder, like, did I tell you this whenever I was at my mom's? She was asking about the new job, and I told her my nervous system is so deregulated.
she probably doesn't even know what that means.
And she said, like, what do you mean by that? And she said, I'm not asking this in a condescending way. I'm asking because she genuinely wanted to understand. And that was the first time I've ever experienced somebody that doesn't have anxiety asking
Or that doesn't know how to name it.
Because I don't think she has anxiety.
Really?
I
what
really
a
don't.
life. Can you fucking imagine?
I really don't. And no one's ever asked me, like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
Because they genuinely want to know. My first instinct was, is she asking because she wants to, like, pray it away?
Right.
But then the deeper instinct was like, no, she genuinely doesn't understand what it feels like to have a nervous system that is so deregulated that you can't function.
You experiencing so much growth and healing and becoming this woman that can name what you're feeling and can say it in such a accurate way. She has never heard that verbiage because the people and the life that she lives doesn't like involve that language, which is a language of healing.
And can I tell you something else real fast?
Yeah. Can you tuck your, I just don't want you to be like, I'm
I
healed
know.
from the
I look
crap.
like a fucking troll.
No, you don't. I just don't want you to zoom in on your fucking ear again.
Where my survival mode went into, in my brain, I was like, is she going to say something like,
Well, you just need to pray about it.
or like, well, you know, that's not from God, or you know, that's from
That's Satan. Yeah.
Or, but not like in a bad way. Like,
But that's what she knows.
or she would say, you know, that's like what mainstream wants you to think is happening. You get what I'm saying? I felt like I could, like, I'm not gonna cry, but like, whenever she said that, she's like, can you tell me more about it? At this point in my life, I genuinely don't care about
But she said
what she thinks of me.
but
What
she
I
said the
care is
same
because I
thing.
care about her so much is that
That
I
she
want
wants to
her
understand.
I want her to
Yeah.
understand what it feels like to be me. Like, you adopted this little girl. Like,
It's the
I
first
would
time
hope
she's
that
asking these things. Even though maybe that should have been considered long ago, the fact that you're now a woman that can speak these things and she's taking a second to separate herself from what her natural programmed reaction would be,
And you
to say
almost
like, what do you mean by that? Because you're my daughter and I want to understand it.
and you almost wonder too if she feels things that she doesn't know how to name.
Oh, for sure. We've talked about that.
Yeah, so she wants to hear it so she doesn't feel alone, but she'll never admit it. You know what I mean? And that could just be me reading into it, but we're all fucking human. We all have anxiety. We
Oh.
all have like emotions.
You showing up vulnerable and raw in your healing, I think you challenge her to look at herself differently. And that's what I hope that like we can do for a lot of people, because whether it makes a massive difference in her or not, I think that the fact that she's even asking to understand is a huge change in itself. And it's because you're showing up with this vulnerability and this, like, you're not showing up with shame. Like, I feel like she's asking because she's probably wondering, like, for you what that means, but also like, I wonder what that means for me, you know? I think that's ultimately where people's like curiosity comes from, is like some sort of identifying factor,
Right.
of like, I felt like that before, you
Yeah.
know? Because if she didn't feel like that, I feel like then she would have just gone back to her,
Yeah.
like, well, that's Satan, you know? I
Yep.
think something in her is like, but wait, I think I like can relate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know how to name it, but like you're saying something that like I've felt before. I thought it was gonna be tears, and I was like, all right, whatever. We need to throw that sweater away. It's very unfortunate.
No, I think it's because when I was doing my own photo shoot down there, I got like one cute picture, by the way. So much dust because no one cleans their blinds. I'm not judging you. I would never clean my blinds. That's the
I would-
last fucking thing I would think
listen,
about. But
I
there's
would just-
so much dust that came out of them. But it's also I had to
here's
I
the
had to
thing.
pull them up to take a
I
cute
would just
photo.
like to say that I am very fortunate that I bought my house and it had very nice blinds.
I don't think they've been cleaned since they moved out. I'm not saying that.
Okay, no, they have. That's what I'm saying. I have fucking cleaned them, but do you know how much of a pain in the ass it is to clean them? I clean them literally.
Let's go snort some dust.
I cleaned them, the front and the back ones, because it's my least favorite thing to do, other than like the dishes.
I
It's
hope
the
you know
least.
I'm not judging you.
No,
by the
but
way.
I need to plead my case here.
You have no
I
case.
cleaned them a month and a half ago when I did my deep clean, or maybe it was 3 months ago for my
Then you need to
appraisal.
change maybe your air filters.
I already did. Listen, okay, it was maybe 3 months ago, but I don't open my blinds. So when I walked downstairs after I was resetting up all of this, and I knew she was down there doing whatever she was doing.
Insert cute photo
here. She had opened the blinds up, and I was like, wow, so much light in here, because I like my cave, and she fell of sun.
Yin and yang.
Fell of sun. And I didn't think about it, but you are right. It was probably a lot of dust. My house isn't dirty.
No, it's not. And I don't think your house is perfect.
This is my OCD.
It just was a lot of fucking dust in my fucking face, which was my fault for pulling the blinds up and like poof.
My house isn't dirty. I hate the blinds.
Your house is not dirty.
I know.
Dust doesn't mean your house is dirty. You don't got dog shit sitting on the carpet.
And this is why when I was little, not when I was
but
little.
That also
when
comes from another trauma of your mom being a hoarder, which we'll get into another episode. But like that's why you probably feel like dust means.
But I also
dirty.
never realized until I owned a house. I never realized like how much fucking goes into just maintaining it. I understand why people have cleaning people.
Yeah.
Because just to do the basic stuff of like the baseboards, the blinds, like
everything.
I
know.
So if my
so what should feel like your sanctuary?
Pick up, clean, organized, pretty, cozy.
That's why I live in a studio
apartment. And if
apartment.
the blinds are dusty, then I'll sacrifice that.
And you should.
But I just don't want everyone to think that I'm
her house
disgusting hoarder. That's my OCD.
Close the loop. Her house is perfect.
And Felicia just really wanted a good selfie.
It actually was really cute, by the way.
Can I see it? Ooh. Right? I'll insert these, but
look how many there are.
How many do we? Oh.
That's why you're the perfect husband. Is because you were just
it's still going.
I know. Look at.
I wasn't just sitting up here. I was setting up all of the shit.
Yeah, but you were letting me have my moment.
They're cute. And you're so pretty. And because of this, she got infused with dust.
I know. It was
All right. Anyway, so
that's like the Achilles heel when the narcissist got bit in the heel or something.
what?
What is the
Are you
whole?
quoting the Bible? I don't know.
No, this is like a
She's
Greek mythology.
ashamed of
Greek
us. Anyway,
mythology.
we are so excited for 2026.
We're actually not
And
so excited for 2026. Actually, we are.
For
Hold on,
us.
I had to like explain that to myself.
For us, for the rest of the world and the state of the world,
We're
excited for us because
and we'll tell you what channel to tune into on the radio when the world fucking implodes. What would our channel be? Hold on.
WWC.
No, it's like numbers. Hold on. We got to guess this. It's like 92.2 or 98.7. There's radio frequencies.
All right. Well, anyway, let's try this again. We're so excited for 2026. We're so happy that you're here.
I'm not excited about 2026. I'm excited about our future.
That's it. That's it. That's the only 2026 I'm looking at.
I'm excited about our future.
WWC 2026.
I'm fucking terrified of 2026. I'm excited about what we're going to do in
I'm
2026.
not letting all of the other things get into my brain and ruin our hopes and dreams, because you know what? We're in our purpose and the world is not going to end before that.
You know what? I just had this epiphany. Do you want to know why I was triggered by saying we're so excited about 2026? Is because I think in my head, propaganda-ish and systematically, new year, new me, blah, blah, blah. No, we're facing a lot of fucking scary shit. So I'm not excited about this year. We're excited about our future.
We're excited.
Once.
And I had so much confirmation. I told you this. I had so much confirmation in that over the past couple of weeks of not having the podcast to work on, because that has become my nights and my weekends. It fuels me. It makes me feel alive. It makes me feel like I have a purpose. Literally, I feel like
ignited.
Yeah, like I feel energy. I feel all of this. And when I didn't have it for those 2 weeks, I was like, how the fuck what was I doing? I was just living like a fucking blob on the earth.
What a full circle moment that we're still continuing to live out our purpose, even though the world is telling us right now nothing else matters except for what's happening in the world.
You know what I just had an epiphany about? Breakthrough.
Did that make sense?
Yeah, but that just made me have it just made me have an epiphany. In any other time of my life, I have let all of the stuff in the world consume me to a point of like true despair. We'll expand on that in another episode. But like, I think because I am so protective of this, and I'm so protective of knowing that like, even if the rest of the world is in fucking chaos, maybe this is my container of control, but it doesn't feel in an unhealthy way. It feels like I feel like for the first time I have boundaries about what I am intaking. I want to be aware of what's happening in the world. I don't want to see it 24/7. I can't, because I want to protect this. I want to protect the energy.
I love that
We're back.
I just had a moment where I'm thinking about the fact that I'm literally sucking on a fucking electronic bullshit thing.
Can I finish my epiphany?
Sorry.
Vape Master. Merch.
I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna quit again.
You quit once, you can quit again. But anyway, look at the haze.
I know.
She's just poisoning us.
I love that I'm just trusting this. I don't even trust it. That's the funny part. I don't trust it. It's killing me. But also, I'm a cockroach.
Anyway,
so
back to my epiphany.
All right.
2026 is the year she interrupts my epiphanies.
Full circle.
But
I keep spitting everywhere. Can you zoom in on the spit?
Listen, and then we got to wrap it up. It's the first time that I have truly felt like I refuse to allow everything. I want to be aware. I have empathy, but I refuse to allow it to ruin my hopes and dreams for the first fucking time in my life. For the first time in my life,
Yep.
I'm excited to be alive. I'm excited to have a future. I'm excited for what our future could bring. I'm excited for the possibilities. I'm excited that at the end of this year, our lives won't look the same. I have never felt like that in my entire life. And I will literally not let the rest of this, because that's what they want.
Yep.
The weaker we are and the less hope that we have and the less like
The more
love that we
docile
have and
we become.
less compassion we have. And all of this is rooted in the fact that I know and we know that what we're doing is going to help people.
Yep.
And I've told you
Like if we
this.
were sitting here speaking about celebrities and
Right.
talking about fucking bullshit,
then it would feel
shampoo.
conceited
Exactly.
and bullshit. I've told you over and over and over again. I know that this timing is here for a reason. All of these conversations that we're willing to have that no one else is going to have, we are in this moment for a reason, and I literally refuse to allow all of the rest of the noise to come into my space and ruin my space. Throwback. They come into my space and ruin.
Make us speak louder.
Yeah, I want to use it as fuel. I don't want to use it as something to make us like, well, why are we doing this?
Yep.
Because I've had moments, and you've had moments, and we've said that of like, literally now. So what are we even doing it for? The world's gonna end. No, I want to switch it around. I want to say we need
That's
to
why
do
we're
it
going to be on
in case the world
98.4 FM.
WWC
FM radio. I'm going to look up those.
How do we do
Hold
that?
on.
Anyway, all right, we got to wrap it up. I need my sandwich.
Okay,
Today
we're gonna
it's,
wrap it
in
up.
case anyone was wondering, today it's Subway.
Hold on. So WWC is on the keypad
Oh, good call.
992.
99.2.
Tune in to 99.2 radio.
WWC radio.
Oh, that's so good merch.
Yeah.
99.2. Fuck, we always predict the future.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Anyway,
Bitches, we'll
always
see you.
remember,
You're not alone.
we weren't crazy.
If you have OCD. Okay. Neither are you.
No.
Okay. Go again. Hold
Also-
on. I'm holding my
also-
glass like a fucking.
We weren't crazy. Neither are you. All right. Try again.
99.2. That's so good.
That's great.
I'm going to look up the numerology
That was a really
of that.
smart. Like,
That's what I
to
was
look
thinking
at
the whole
phone.
time.
I'm so proud of you. Yin and yang.
Thanks.
All right. All right. Well, we weren't crazy.
And neither are you.
Cross
we
your
see
fingers.
you, the crazy ones. We see you.
Cross your fingers that we have enough mental capacity to film another episode.
We're going to.
I know, but I'm hyperfixated on watching us.
No, I'm not. That will destroy my everything.
You're not?
No, let's change clothes and film again. Then we can
What
watch.
am I going to change to?
I don't know, but we got to change and film. What are we going to talk about in the next one?
The whole episode planned out. Maybe we should eat a weed gummy.
Let's do it.
Or I have a weed vapey thing.
Let's do them both.
Not both. Okay, bye.
Bye. It's not crack cocaine. It's herbs.
Herbs from the ground.